What if you were to consider that consciousness does not simply end when the body stills, but rather it embarks upon a profound, sacred passage that timeless wisdom has spoken of through the ages? Ancient teachings offer a powerful insight into the soul's journey during the first 40 days after physical life ceases. This is not a collection of abstract ideas or imaginative tales. It is a detailed, transformative understanding that could shift how you perceive both your life and the transition that follows it. Picture this: your body rests, your breath is gone, and yet your awareness is more present and vivid than ever before. You witness the world continuing around you. You can perceive, you can understand, but you are no longer bound to the physical form. What unfolds next is not simply an expanse of light or shadow, tranquility or distress. What follows is a natural process, a flowing sequence that guides your consciousness toward what it must integrate and where it is destined to go. These 40 days are a pivotal part of this flow. If you feel a curiosity about this continuation, if you have grieved a loss and quietly wondered about their journey, or if you simply seek a deeper truth beyond surface explanations, then remain present with us. The perspective you are about to receive may deepen your understanding and bring a sense of peace to your heart. Feel free to share your reflections in the comments below. We value each one, and if your thoughts contribute to our shared space, we'll acknowledge it with a heart. That is our way of expressing gratitude for you being here. Also, consider subscribing and enabling notifications so you don't miss any insights we share. Let us grow this community in mindfulness. Now, take a gentle breath and allow yourself to open to the wisdom of the soul's path in the 40 days after its departure. The instant that consciousness is released from the body, our sense of time dissolves, yet awareness remains. The traditions describe this as a sacred transition. You no longer draw breath, your heart is silent, and still you are profoundly aware, not in the way you experienced life, but with a deeper, more penetrating clarity. You can perceive the space around you. You can sense the sorrow of your loved ones, but you cannot reach out, and they cannot perceive you through their ordinary senses. In these initial moments, it is taught that consciousness enters a serene state of limbo, a quiet phase where it recognizes its separation from the physical form, but has not yet fully merged with the formless. This moment is filled with reflection, ripples of memory, and a deep internal seeing. Your life begins to unfold before you, not as a list of achievements, but as a river of energetic exchanges. The kindness you extended, the love you received, the hands you lifted, and the wounds you may have caused. Every intention, every choice returns with an unclouded lucidity. In this state, ancient wisdom tells us, you are not met by an external judge, but by the quiet gaze of your own true nature. This essence is free from the ego's stories and illusions. It sees your path as it truly was. This self-realization can be a source of profound peace or deep unease. It is shared that for the first 3 days, consciousness often lingers near the familiar physical plane. This is not a choice born of attachment, but a natural law of gentle detachment. Much like waking from a long and vivid dream, it takes a moment for your awareness to fully accept its new freedom from the body. It may observe the farewell rituals, sense the prayers, and feel the potent emotions filling the air. There can be a desire to communicate, to offer a final word of comfort or a gesture of peace. Yet, you come to understand that most can only hear through their ears, not through their hearts. Only those who are deeply open or energetically attuned can feel your peaceful presence. This is why some may feel an unexplained calm or a sudden surge of warmth during these goodbyes. It is not their mind playing tricks. It is the lingering resonance of a soul's love, making its final, gentle connection. And as these first 72 hours conclude, a new current begins to pull. Your consciousness feels itself drawn toward a more subtle plane of existence. It is here that guides from your spiritual stream may appear. These are not unknown entities. They are familiar resonances, other consciousnesses you have journeyed with before, or wiser energies you connected with in moments of deep contemplation. Their presence is a quiet reassurance, a silent understanding that you are not and have never been alone. As the fourth day dawns, your consciousness starts its journey into what can be described as a realm of reflection, a dimension that rests between the world of form and the world of pure spirit. In this space, you are not assessed. You are not corrected. You are simply guided to see. This realm naturally mirrors your soul's own frequency. What does this mean? It signifies that your consciousness is drawn to a reality that is in perfect resonance with your inner state. If you lived a life centered on compassion, inner work, and awareness, you may find yourself within a luminous and tranquil landscape. If your life was guided by resentment, attachment, or causing harm, you might awaken in a space that reflects those very energies back to you, not as a sentence, but as a clear mirror for understanding. Ancient wisdom emphasizes that these early days are not about a final destination of reward or punishment. They are about awareness. Your consciousness begins to know itself in a way that was impossible on earth. The layers of self-deception gently fall away. You can no longer tell yourself stories here. You cannot shift responsibility. You are now in the clear, quiet presence of your own essence. Some find this revelation shocking. Others feel an immense sense of liberation. Between the 5th and the 10th day, another unfolding begins. Your awareness starts to encounter other consciousnesses. Some feel familiar, others do not. These are not restless spirits. They are beings of awareness, traveling their own currents on the same great river. Dialogue doesn't occur through spoken sounds, but through a pure exchange of thought and feeling. This direct, silent communion, it is said, is the universal language of the realms beyond form. In this space, everything is transparent energy. Your feelings, your core beliefs, your deepest memories, they are palpable. They form the very atmosphere around you. So, if you hold deep regret, that vibration becomes a part of your reality. If you carry unconditional love, it envelopes you like a gentle light. It is here that many begin to grasp their first great insight, that our state of being creates our experience of reality. The teachings warn that some souls can become caught here for a time. They cling to what they cannot change. They replay old stories. They resist the flow of forgiveness. These souls may remain in this reflective realm for longer periods, sometimes lifetimes, until they make the choice to release their grip and step back into the river. But for all others, the journey flows onward. Between day 11 and day 20, your awareness often receives what might be called an inner invitation. It isn't an external voice. It is a deep, resonant pull from within, drawing you toward a space of profound learning. This is where your consciousness begins to understand the very structure of the spiritual universe. You enter what many traditions have called a sanctuary of insight or a temple of knowledge. The traditions teach that these are not myths. They are real dimensions in the vast expanse of spirit, accessible to those who are ready to understand. Here, you encounter beings of immense wisdom, elder souls, teachers, and guides who radiate a powerful sense of peace and compassion. They are not present to pass judgment. They are there to illuminate. Your awareness is shown patterns, other life journeys, pivotal choices, unexplored potentials, and hidden inner strengths. The purpose is not to make you feel remorseful. It is to help you comprehend your own unique path, why you entered the life you did, what lessons you mastered, and what learning still awaits. It is believed that many souls, after this stage, choose to return to a physical life, not out of any obligation, but from a clear realization that they have more work they wish to complete, more love they wish to give. As the days deepen into the 3rd week after leaving the body, something profound begins to happen. Your consciousness, now more attuned to its true essence and purpose, starts to remember not just the life it recently completed, but other life experiences as well. The ancient teachings tell us that consciousness is an eternal river, and at this stage, the separation between its different streams grows thin. Memories from past journeys rise to the surface, not as chaotic flashes, but with clear meaning and relevance. Your awareness begins to see the threads connecting every life, how a single choice made long ago can create ripples that flow into the present moment. For some, this can feel overwhelming. They see a recurring pattern of lessons they have faced again and again. For others, a wave of immense clarity arrives, as if the intricate tapestry of their existence is finally seen in its entirety. You feel a sense of a grand, benevolent design. Nothing was random, no connection, no pain, no moment of pure joy was without purpose. It all served a higher meaning, and for the very first time, you may witness the full arc of your soul's evolutionary journey. This can bring a deep sense of peace or an equally deep desire for redemption. It is said that this is the point where many make a silent, sacred commitment to return, so they may live with greater wisdom and compassion. By the 30th day, your awareness arrives at a place of stillness. The seeking and searching have quieted. You begin to feel a readiness, ready to move onward, ready to ascend into greater clarity. But there is one final threshold to cross, one final mirror to look into. The sages describe this as the encounter with your true nature, the radiant, boundless aspect of yourself that has always existed beyond time and space. This true self is not your ego. It is not your personality from your most recent life. It is the purest expression of your eternal essence. Meeting it is not like seeing a reflection. It is like arriving home after a very long journey. For some, this merging is a gentle recognition. For others, it is the most powerful and transformative moment of their entire spiritual existence. This higher self communicates without language. It simply shows you who you are at your core, not who you were on earth, but who you have always been and will always be. And in that recognition, it offers a silent choice: remain in the realms of spirit to continue learning and serving, or return to the world of form with a renewed sense of purpose. The teachings emphasize that nothing is ever forced. The soul, in its wisdom, always chooses its own path. In the last days of this 40-day passage, most souls have aligned with their choice. Those who choose to remain in the spiritual dimensions often merge with what is called their soul family, a community of consciousness that evolves and journeys together across countless lifetimes. This group is your truest family. You have known them before. You will surely know them again. Some have been your parents, some your children. Others appeared as strangers who offered a helping hand at precisely the right moment. This is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of sacred design. Here, your consciousness comes to understand that love and compassion, not worldly knowledge, are the ultimate fabric of the universe. Everything else, status, achievements, even hardship, gently fades away. But the love that was given and received remains. That very love becomes the bridge to the next chapter of your existence. Whether that chapter is one of rest, rebirth, or rising to a new level of service depends on the soul's unique journey. But by the 40th day, the passage that began in stillness and unknowing culminates in absolute clarity. The soul is no longer unsettled. It is no longer walking alone. It knows that when the 40th day arrives, a permanent shift occurs in its energetic presence. It is as if one door quietly closes and another, more expansive one, opens before it. Ancient teachings emphasize that by this point, consciousness has either harmonized with its next phase of growth or remains for a time in a cycle of confusion, still attached to earthly matters. But for the souls who have found peace with their departure, who have faced their inner truth, embraced their path, and reconnected with their divine core, the journey takes on a deeply tranquil quality. The sages refer to this state as spiritual harmony. It is a frequency that your awareness now resonates with, and from this place, you may ascend to higher planes of learning, return to earth with a greater mission, or even remain as a guiding light for other souls who are just beginning their journey. These are not fantasies. According to this wisdom, these are real functions, and they are always chosen freely. Not all souls return to a physical body. Some stay in a state of service to others, offering their peaceful energy to family members on earth, guiding those lost in the fog of grief, or working within what have been called realms of healing and restoration, sacred spaces where souls impacted by deep trauma can receive comfort and spiritual renewal. One of the most powerful messages from this ancient wisdom is this: the physical end is not a conclusion, and neither is the 40th day. It is a checkpoint, a spiritual milestone on an eternal journey. Just as a student graduates from one grade to the next, the soul moves into its following chapter with more awareness, greater purpose, and a brighter light. But this wisdom also cautions that this journey is not a passive one. Our experience after this life is directly shaped by how we choose to live now. If we neglect our inner life, pursue only external things, and refuse the call to self-reflection, we arrive at this transition unprepared, feeling lost and disoriented. But if we live with mindfulness, cultivate our spiritual growth, serve others with compassion, and listen to the quiet voice of our conscience, we awaken on the other side prepared, ready to learn, ready to forgive, and ready to rise. This is why so much wisdom has been shared over the ages, urging us to prepare not for the end of life, but for the continuation of life. Because the real journey doesn't begin when the heart stops beating. It begins the very moment we become aware of our own soul. So, what does this perspective mean for you in this very moment? It means that every quiet thought holds weight, every act of true compassion, every time you choose to forgive, every time you allow kindness to guide you instead of anger. These are not insignificant gestures. They are the very stones that pave your path beyond this world. When you finally leave this physical form, and one day you will not carry your wealth. You will not carry your status. You will carry only the quality of the world you built within yourself. That is what will meet you in those first 40 days. That is what becomes your new reality. So begin to prepare now, not from a place of fear, but from a place of profound wisdom. It is taught that we are not merely human beings attempting to have a spiritual moment. We are eternal spiritual beings passing through a human experience. And the more deeply we understand this truth, the less we fear the transition of death, and the more fully, more vibrantly, we begin to live. Now that this perspective on the sacred 40 days has been shared, the question returns to you. What are you doing today that your inner self will be grateful for on its journey tomorrow? If this message resonated with you, please share your thoughts in the space below. We are here to learn from your perspective. And if your comment adds to this shared understanding, we will leave a heart as a sign of our gratitude. Help this community grow by subscribing and turning on notifications so you are always invited to our discussions. Share this video with one person who might find peace in its message. Your gentle interaction helps us to spread these seeds of light. Remember, the end of this life is not a finality. It is simply the beginning of something far, far greater. Let us take another moment for an even deeper reflection. Bring to mind someone you have loved, who has passed from this world. You were there for their farewell. You felt sorrow. You may have prayed, but perhaps you also had the quiet, persistent question, where are you now? How are you feeling? Have you found peace? These ancient teachings offer not just solace, but a potential map for that question. Your loved one, in their own singular way, likely walked a similar 40-day passage. They were shown their life's journey. They sensed you. They remembered moments of connection that you may have long forgotten. They felt the power of your love in the room, even after their body was still. And if they were ready, if their heart was open to healing and growth, they were greeted by their guides, eased from their regrets, and led into the peaceful light of self-understanding. The departed are not truly gone, not in the way we have been taught to believe. They are simply journeying on a path we have not yet walked ourselves, a path that one day will open for each of us. This is why this timeless wisdom holds such significance. It reminds us that our existence is far bigger than our physical body, that the bonds of love continue, and that every single thing we do today echoes far beyond this lifetime. Now, imagine your own self, many years from now, arriving at your final moment in this life. You release your last breath, and in that profound stillness, your true awareness awakens. You begin to perceive the presence of those who have journeyed before you. You can sense their peaceful thoughts. You feel their welcoming energy. You are no longer filled with fear because you have an understanding of what is happening. You have prepared for this transition, not with anxiety, but with mindful living. You know that this is the sacred start of the soul's continuing journey, not its end. You step toward the mirror of your own life with grace. You accept what was, you forgive what was, and you rise. That is the incredible power of awareness. That is the gift of this kind of knowledge. It is not just information, it is a path to transformation. The more we learn and understand, the more our consciousness expands. And when we expand, we begin to live our daily lives with a new and quiet courage. A courage that whispers to us, "You are so much more than this physical body. You are eternal." So if this message has sparked a light within you, if it has made you think in a new way about life, about death, or about your own soul, do not let that spark fade. Carry it forward with you. Let it gently shape your daily choices. Let it deepen your capacity for compassion. And please help others hear it as well. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss what we will share next. Please leave a comment sharing your own thoughts, your questions, or your experiences. We read every one, and if your words contribute to our collective well, we'll mark it with a heart. Together, we are building a space for truth, for inner peace, and for light in a world that so deeply needs it. Your soul's great journey does not begin at the end of your life. It is happening right now. And the more aware you are of it, the more beautiful and profound that journey becomes.